Yo, what up, street dogs? Eric Kim. All right, so some random thoughts. So, the quadrillion dollar question right now is, what's going on in this crazy world of ours? Honestly, I don't think nobody knows what's going on. It's just a bunch of randomness and chaos and, shit that's happening. And if I could simplify what's happening, this is just like my personal take. And obviously, this is just my opinion. I think I'm probably wrong, but I just wanted to share my thoughts. So please don't listen to me, because all I do is talk nonsense. All right, so that out of the way. So generally, my gist is actually what's really happening in the world is, essentially it's America versus China, and I think we have to be careful to not get suckered or think about the red herring, because I think the real, personally, my own personal real fear is kind of like, let's hope not, but not like a World War III, where it's kind of like America versus China. And it looks like, in terms of just politics right now, it's kind of like, America is afraid of China for obvious reasons. China is kind of in cahoots with North Korea-ish, and Trump's trying to alleviate tensions with North Korea because, military stuff, and Russia is kind of chilling and doing her own thing, and then Russia might side with China, might side with the States, who knows. So actually right now, my best understanding of the world is kind of more from a military perspective. And so if you don't know, the military industrial complex is a real thing, and US government has like quadrillions of dollars of debts to China, and the funny thing with American currency is that it's all fiat currency, which means it's like a faith-based currency where, for a while now, America no longer has a gold standard, so we have X amount of dollars in the US dollars in the world is actually not backed up by gold, which means that there could be a nerd somewhere on a computer, just push a button, bada bing, bada boom, and you got another $1 trillion to add to the system. So essentially, US dollars is not real. It's not real money. But so what happens if China comes knocking on the doors like, yo, pay up? America's gonna be like, well, two things. First of all, we can't pay it back, and the second thing is we're not gonna want to pay it back, and then America's gonna wave her big stick and be like, yo, we got the biggest military in the world, and we're not gonna pay you back. Now it seems the way what China's doing, they're creating the new Silk Road, and they're buying out stuff in Africa and stuff like that, and and also being China, trying to extend her influence on like Southeast Asia and so forth. And what it seems is China is kind of trying to position herself to become the new master of the planet, right? And what China has going for her is that the Chinese think very, very long term. They think about the next 5,000 years, whereas us in America, we might think about the next like 5 or 10 or 50 years. So China certainly has history and clout on her side, whereas America, our problem is we think a little bit too short term. So anyways, so for me, I'm actually a little bit more kind of concerned about like military intervention and thinking about the world. And even if you think about like, as an American, right, let's say there's another draft or something like that, would you go fight, or is it going to be like a cyber war, like each people's trying to cyber hack each other? But it's also very complicated because the world's economy is so global now, right? Like America makes iPhones in China, you know, China creates goods and sells it to America, and now, you know, Trump is trying to make, you know, more production come home back to the States. And I mean, there are good things about trying to stop globalization, because like, for example, the pandemic, right? America didn't really have any factories making face masks in America. And so as a consequence, you know, we cannot import face masks fast enough, and then, you know, the disease spreads and whatever. And there are certainly talks that a COVID 2.0 might happen, which actually might be worse than the first flood. And so as a consequence, I don't know, maybe we're like at a biological war right now. And truth be told, I don't believe in any of the conspiracy theories about, you know, China made in a lab to infect the world, blah blah. I think it's just randomness and chaos and chance. And who knows, maybe 500 years from now we'll figure out the truth, but right now I don't think nobody knows what's happening. But anyways, so if we think about that, what are we to do as good citizens, and what are we to do thinking about the future? I mean, basic things, you know, have liquid cash on hand. So, you know, right now it's probably not a good idea to buy a new Tesla or buy a new iPhone or buy new anything, or, you know, drop too much money on a mortgage on a house or anything like that. I think right now it's very wise to run lean and to adopt an extremely frugal mindset. So for my example, I'm trying to get rid of all my personal subscription services. I'm trying to stockpile even more cash and meat on hand. And yeah, I mean, if in America we truly do believe in liberty and freedom, then what that means is to position yourself where you're a little bit more self-reliant. Like, the only two things I really need to pay for is pay for my rent in our apartment building and buy meat. Beyond that, everything else is superfluous. So, you know, I don't have a car, I don't have any debt, you know, and me and Cindy, we try to tuck away like 90% of our earnings into savings. And so for me, as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection and meat on tap, I'm personally happy. I've been enjoying living here in Providence, being able to go on these nice walks, going to the park, enjoying more fresh air. And yeah, and actually just like my personal focus right now, because I think my Archimedes lever is certainly blogging, vlogging, photography, art, philosophy, and entrepreneurship and so forth. So I plan on doing more online Zoom workshops. Just Google Eric Kim workshops if you're interested. And I don't know, like everyone right now, we're all living in a state of fear. I mean, kind of rightfully so, but I don't think nothing's gonna change for a long time. This is gonna be kind of the new normal. So then what the better question is, you know, things are gonna get better, and so it's gonna be this way. How can we continue to thrive in today's crazy, brave new world? So my suggestion, quit the news, just stop it, stop following it, quit social media, spend more time thinking, reading old school books, start your own website, start your own blog, even start your own YouTube channel, share your thoughts, share your opinions, and know that you could thrive amidst uncertainty. I was reading some Horace last night. He said something like, calamity awakens the inner genius. So maybe right now could be the perfect time for you to awaken your own inner genius.